Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 21st. This is our QOL trading pre-market analysis. And for those of you that are new, hit that subscribe button here so you can get future notifications for all videos that I put out. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. If you go to our website at QOLtrading.com, the first thing you'll see here is a spot to put your name and your email address in here. And when you do that, you'll be subscribed to get our newsletter that we put out every Sunday. We've put out 18 editions so far. And what you're going to get there is you're going to get the market review. You'll get all my biases and my potential earnings, any kind of news that's happening, geopolitical. So it's pretty informative. We put out 18 editions and it's all free right now. So all you have to do is just put your name and your email address in here and you will be subscribed and you will get that newsletter on Sundays. And then if you want to learn more about our program, about our strategy, you can come down here and click the button, put your name in there, and you'll get a free 15-minute to 30-minute consultation with me, and I'll let you know more what's happening. On the Discord side of things, you can hit the live trade desk here, or the Discord symbol that we have up here. It'll bring you to our sign-in page. And the sign-in page down here, you can join for free. And then also, if you want to upgrade, you can join our live trading desk from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time every day. If you want our QOL ORB Scalper, that's down here. And if you want a bundle package, you go to the next page here and you can get the live trading desk along with our ORB Scalper. And it's an indicator that we built. And it pretty much plots everything out for you. What you're looking at right now is a 1 minute up here in the left-hand corner, 2 minute in the right-hand corner, and then the 5 minute is what I have down here. You can put this on any equity, any foreign currency, any crypto, any EFT, and you could do a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. Actually, you can go up to a 30 minute. I've been playing with that as well. And you can see yesterday, we're looking at Tesla right now. You can see Tesla was just a beautiful, right out of the box here. It gives you your range here on the tables here. So the 1 minute, it told you the 1 minute range was 383.50 up to 386.52. And then you can base your trade strategies off of these levels here. This is automatically plotted for you when the market opens. I didn't write any of this. It identifies you could potentially take a short, and then it tells you where your exits are. It gives you a profit line on the downside, two of them actually, the first one and then the second one. Also gives you a profit target on the upside too if you break on the upside. So this is all based on opening range break strategies. So you could see the 2 minute gave you that beautiful sign as well, and so did the 5 minute. It was a beautiful trade yesterday. Don't hesitate, get on there and put your name and email address in so you can get all the pertinent information coming forward. As far as economic data today, pretty light. I think it's light for the rest of the week. You have crude oil inventories on Wednesday. There's nothing on the docket for today. Thursday, unemployment claims. This is all before the market opens. And then you've got some natural gas shortage and some treasury currency report. Friday, I don't see anything on the docket for Friday as well. I think the big thing for this week, we have earnings. Tomorrow we have Tesla and Alphabet after the close. That'll be a market mover. Tesla definitely looks like there was some risk off yesterday with Tesla selling off to some decent levels that we had on the charts here, and we'll go over those in a minute. And then on Thursday, you've got Intel after the close. And then I don't really see anything else that's going to really impact things for the rest of the week here. So, all right, that being said, let's get into things. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. We'll start off with oil right now. Oil is elevated right now. Obviously, there's a lot of tension that's still happening in Iran. It's escalated a little bit. So, however, we are down below this 50-day moving average at $84.71 a barrel. Be nice to stay below that and maybe pull back down here to the 200 moving average in the 20-day down, sitting at 74.75 a barrel. If you pop up above this 84.34, I think you could move into this 87.42 dollars a barrel, and then also up into the $89.26 a barrel. So not good for our pocketbooks here when when oil gets elevated like this, but you can see, ever since the tension started, oil is starting to pop its head back up there. Let's get over to the VIX. All right, let me do this. This is better. So the VIX is elevated also. We have some gap ups here. So we've got a gap up here from the 10th down at $15. We are above the 20-day at $17.05 and the 50-day at $17.29. So as long as we're above that, things are elevated right now. So there's going to be some volatility in the marketplace. We are sitting below the 200 at $18.72. And then above that, you've got $19.67, 100-day moving average. So you'd like to stay below that. But we do have some gap ups down here. So hopefully the market will get some balance and the VIX will flush down, and so then the markets continue their upward pattern here. All right, let's get into our regular routine here. So the ES, yeah, we're dropping now below the 20-day moving average, sitting. We're going to call that today 75.27 and change. Also, the 50-day moving average is sitting right there at 75.33.63. So, but yesterday and the post-market, actually, we did hold this July 2nd low, 74.80, not bad. We may try to test that again. You can see down here, the market flushed a little bit. And so now it's probably consolidating to find out maybe there's going to be one more flush down here to these open point of controls that I had here at or not open, but closed point of controls, 73.63.42. So, there's nothing wrong with the market pulling back. People, ever since March 30th, the market's been going straight up. So, it's healthy for the market to pull back. However, we are holding this 74.80 level. Got to hold that. If you get above the 75.29 level, I think you push back into the 75.25 level. And then you probably get some headwinds up there and get a little resistance there. So, as long as you're below these moving averages, you're probably the bias should probably be popping fades. If you can push through those and hold, then then the bulls are going to get some leverage back into the game here. So if you lose the 74.80 level though, you could get some flush here. I don't have much down here. Yeah, I have this 74.27 48.4 level, but I think there's a better flush down here to June lows. As long as we're above June lows, I think the bulls are still intact. 72.92.25 is June lows. So you want to make sure that we hold that. Let's get over to the SPY now. SPY is going to give you a similar reading here. However, we are above the 20-day moving average on the SPY, 744.81. But it's kind of caught in between the 745.21, which is July 7th's low. If you lose this 20-day, you could come back down here to the 743.46. It's May 15th's high. So it did pop below that yesterday during regular trading hours, and then post market it popped above that, and so it's kind of hanging on by a thread a little bit right now. So you got to hold this 20 right now. If you lose the 20, I think you get some more flush probably through the 743.46, and maybe you come down here and test this July 2nd low at 740.05. If you lose that, I've got a decent level down here, June 26th high at 736.53 for some more defense down there on the downside. On the upside, if you regain 747.29, I think you can push into the 750.44, and then above that, we push back into this gap down from July 10th at 754.91, which would give you some headwinds up there if you popped up into that level. Let's get over to the Nasdaq really quick here, people. We're going to try to fly through this today. So the Nasdaq is pulling back a little, is definitely holding. However, like I said, we are below the 20-day moving average, sitting at 29,627.10, and the 50-day moving average at 29,854. So same thing. Your strategy should probably be popping fades, watching these certain levels. We have an open point of control here from last Thursday, 29,432.52. If the market pops up there, probably get a little resistance. On the downside here, got to hold this 28,912.75 level. If we lose that, I think we can flush down to this 28,512 level, which is June lows as well. So very important. The June lows are going to be very important on all the broader markets and also equities as well. So we'll get into all those. So just take a snapshot of these levels. If you're trading these, just use them, and just they're really fantastic levels here. You can see what happened here yesterday. Or not yesterday, but on Thursday of last week, how this level is going to be, pretty important, because you see we lost this low from June 2nd, and then you could see what happened yesterday. We popped right above it, and it was a perfect ideal, break and retest right on the downside here. So it's going to battle that level right now, 29,181.50. That'll probably be your line in the sand today to whether you want to be long or short. So watch the Nasdaq, watch those levels on the Nasdaq there. On the Qs are going to be very similar. See how we're below the 20-day moving average at 716.12, and the 50-day moving average sitting at about, call it 719, between 719 and 720. We're still the same thing. June lows, got to hold these June lows, 686.37. If you flush, we come down to the 100-day moving average at 668.16. It's also April's high, so that would be a decent break and retest. You broke the high and you come back down here, test that level, 668.90 on the downside. If you can regain the 20-day moving average, then I think you can move into 726.39, 730.83 levels, right? Okay, that is it for the Qs. Let's get over to the Mag 7s right now. We're going to fly through everything today. We'll start out with NVIDIA like we did yesterday. So NVIDIA's kind of caught in a channel here. Here's the 20-day at 201.75 and the 50-day is at 209.82. I would say if you pop up here 208.76, you probably get a little resistance there. It's a break and retest of that low. On the downside here, you got to hold this regressional trend line that I have here. It's a short one from May 14th, 202.74. So you could hold those levels as well. If you lose that and you flush out through that level, let me get rid of this. I don't like that level here. Could flush down to this 199.34, which is also sitting above the 100-day moving average at 198.77. Upside, if you regain the 50-day moving average, you're going to push back into that 213.99 level. Okay, let's get into Apple. Apple's been the strongest one on the market right now. You can see it's got to hold this 323.45. If you lose that, it'll go down to a previous all-time high at 317.40. Also, nice little speed zone down here. So if you lose this 323.45, could flush out pretty quickly down here to the 317.40 level. If you lose 317.40, we have all the moving averages down here. One at 306.95. It's 20-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average sitting at 303.43 level. Upside, if you can regain this 334, which is a 127% Fibonacci level that I have here, could push into the all-time highs that we have there at 339.76. But Apple seems to be pretty strong right now. So for Apple, I'd be looking for pullback longs. That's what I'd be looking for. So the ideal pullback long for Apple is probably down here by the moving averages at 306.95. But the longer Apple stays up here, these moving averages are going to start moving higher, and it'll start creeping up to wherever the price is. All right, let's get into Meta now. Meta, I thought Meta had a decent day the other day. When did that happen? Yeah, Friday. So Meta's kind of consolidating right now. We're above the 200-day moving average at 640.06. I don't mind that. I think if you can get above the highs from yesterday, where are these highs here? Call it 653.34. You could push into that 677.86 level. On the downside, if you lose the 200 and you lose this regressional trend line, this regressional trend line I have here from October 29th of last year. So this is a pretty decent level right here. If you lose this, you'll flush 618.70. Then you have all your support down here with your moving averages. You got a 608.869 is the 20-day moving average, and your 100-day moving average at 616.71. Flush below that, 592.66. It's a high from April of this year. Let's get into Google. I thought Google had a pretty decent day yesterday. We have Google earnings coming up and Tesla tomorrow. So you got to be careful with trading these if you're going to be trading them today. Nice little push here, but you can see we gave it all back, push in the morning, and then we gave it all back. I would watch this 350.46 level. If you lose that 350.46, I think you could flush down to 344.12. It's a June 26 high. It is sitting right above the 100-day moving average at 342.87. It's also sitting above this regressional trend line that I have here at 340.78. This is a midline regressional trend line, so the upper end is right here. So you can see we're kind of caught in that channel here. And then if you lose that midline here, then you come down to a lower regressional trend line that I have here at 326.79. But it could be doing a little consolidating right now. If you lose yesterday's low, I think you're going to continue to flush. Okay, let's go to Amazon. Amazon's been kind of choppy lately. Amazon's kind of a mess, quite honestly there. 242.34 is a 20-day moving average. I like that level. If we flush, you have to be patient, right? So if trading becomes boring to you, you then successfully become a trader. So you have to be patient. You can't be worried about clicking the buttons right away. You have to have your levels on your charts and trade off of your levels. This is a beautiful level that I had here yesterday. I did not touch any of these levels. You can see how it respected a June 26 high, came right up there, tried to pop through it, and lost that level. We are now below the 50, so 251.63. Pop and fades into that level here, and then maybe a flush down here to the 20 at 242.34. Got to hold the 248 low from Thursday of last week if you flush there. I do have some defense right over here at 245.73. On the upside, if you can regain this 252.53 level, we can pop back into this 255.19 low. There's a nice little speed zone above here too. So if you could get above that 251.30 level, you could pop up into that 255 there. But it looks like it's in a consolidating pattern right now. So I would just watch that if you're trading Amazon here. Microsoft. Now Microsoft was the stock that I saw that had a really nice day. It's a beautiful, just continued buying. It's a 15-minute chart we're looking at. It was a nice pattern yesterday. So, however, you got to worry about this, right? You have straight up moves here. You got to hold this level here, this 397.57 level. If you lose that, you could flush back down here, 393.76 level. And then if this is a level that doesn't support for you, 388.95 is on the downside here. You can see we're trapped here, but below the 100-day moving average. 100-day moving average sitting at 399.34. And it's also a psychological level at 400, right? So 400, any kind of even numbers on a stock, it's always psychological. You usually get some kind of response the first time it hits those levels. But so we are below this 432 level. So that's a key level there. As long as we're below that, I would not be thinking long. If you can't flush and if you can't pop through all that level here, and you could get through the close of yesterday, which is 402.29, then you could possibly make your way back up to that 413.05 level. Downside here, we are above the 20-day moving average, which is positive for Microsoft, 382.30, because Microsoft's been kind of in the penalty box for a long time right now. We did flush all the way down here to 350 about a month and a half ago, and so it bounced off of that. So it's good to see Microsoft coming back a little bit, but right now it's consolidating. So watch these levels here. Put these levels on your charts, trade them if that's what you're trading off of today for Microsoft. Okay, SpaceX, absolute mess. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. There's just no direction on it. I'm not ready to trade options on it. There's not enough liquidity in it. However, if you are the one that's bold and you want to trade it, I would watch out for this 130.80 level. It's a break and retest of a low. You lost the low. Now you come back up and test that low. As far as the downside, it's uncharted territory on the downside. The only thing I have on the downside is this 127% Fibonacci extension level on the downside here. You may know that I use it on the upside a lot, but now with SpaceX, we're using it on the downside right now. So big gaps here. Now the volume's kind of tapering off right now, so I would be careful with SpaceX if that's what you're trading. So let's get into Tesla, then we'll get into what we're going to do for today. Tesla, big sell-off yesterday. However, now it creates a nice little speed zone. You hear me talk about these speed zones a lot. When you get a one-directional move, whether it's a downside or an upside, it retraces itself. Look all the way over here from last Thursday. Big upside move, created a nice little speed zone, and it gave back the entire move, right? So here's the same thing right here. The first half hour, 45 minutes, it was straight downhill. Then it tried to pop back up here. It was a perfect break and retest of this low, 337 or 377.22. It was a low from Friday. So as long as we're below this, I'm not thinking long. However, if you do push and you get a hold above this 377.22, I think you could push back into this 380.99 and even this 383.05 level. However, Tesla earnings tomorrow, people. Be careful with Tesla. It's probably going to be flying around today. So this is something I'd worry about. We do have a May of 2025 high here. So this is a big level here. It's got to hold this 367.71 if it does flush to there. If we lose that 367.71 level, we have an April 27th low at 364.20, but I think we flush through that and probably come down here to a lower regressional trend line at 360.02. And we do know that I've been talking about, we still have this open point of control down here at 333.97. It's the last open point of control I have on the downside. We have some good point of controls on the upside, which is good. You want to have those point of controls open on the upside. It gives you some, you can be some, optimistic that the market will pop back up there. However, just like we're looking at the other stocks, we're well below the 20-day and the 100-day moving average, sitting at 396.31. So while you're below your moving averages, your thesis should be looking for pop and fades. What's a pop and fade? market pops up, and then you fade the move based off of your levels. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to pop there. You could base your strategy off just being patient, let the market flush out, and then when the sellers get exhausted, then you can look for your levels to get long, right? So 360, if we lose 360, 349.73, I think is going to be a no-brainer. And then below that, then we could probably flush out to that 333.97 level. So, but here's a speed zone here, people. I talk about this all the time here. So if you can get a pop above that 377.22, I think you could potentially regain that downside move from yesterday. I mean, this is just somebody taking risk off going into the earnings for tomorrow, which I don't blame people to do. So as far as what we're going to do for today for the option side of things, I'm not, they do not, as of January 26th, they now have 3 days of expiration dates. They've got a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday expiration date. But due to the fact that Tesla has earnings tomorrow, there is no expiration date for tomorrow. So the next expiration date is Friday the 24th. And so that's what I'm going to have on my screen. I've got the 400 calls. You can see we're about, we're $30 away from that. So I'll probably adjust that as the market opens. So we are above the close from yesterday. The close is 369 and change. And I had the 365 puts. So you can see the premium on the puts is in the $9 range. So the expectations of Tesla being down here are pretty high. You can see how expensive the premiums are for the put side and how cheap they are for the call side, right? So it means that they're heavily betting on that the market is going to be down significantly for Tesla tomorrow on the put side. So what does this mean? If you are new to trading options, whatever you look at the premium, let's say we're just going to base everything on a one lot for just easy math. If let's say we're trading Tesla today and the market opens up at $3.20 and I think Tesla is going to rise, right? And I think Tesla is going to go up to 375. I could buy a one lot here, and at one lot it would cost me $320, and that's my exposure, and that's it. You won't lose any more than that aside from your commissions. So you buy a one lot, and you could walk away from your computer if you wanted to, right? That's not my style. I base all my strategies off of the opening range. Whether it be the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, I'll just look at where the market's heading, and I just watch my price action. But anyway, so a one lot, let's say the market's going up, you buy a one lot here. Typically the trades the strike prices that I trade are usually, 40 to 45 cent delta. Now, what does a delta mean? On the stock, it means that, and for easy math, let's just hypothetically say it's a 50-cent delta. So what that means is for every dollar that the equity price moves up or down, this premium price will move 50 cents. The delta equals how many, if it moves $1, for every dollar, this will move 50 cents if I'm trading a 50-cent delta. And the same thing happens on the put side. It doesn't matter what the price is. It's just going to tell you that it's going to move. If you're looking at the delta of the option, it's going to move 50 cents one way or the other. So if I'm buying a put and the market goes down $1, this premium price will move up 50 cents. So if I bought a one lot, no matter where I bought it, it's going to equal $50. Now, obviously, we want to trade more than a one lot, people, right? But just to give you some basic math on all that stuff. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you want me to cover something I'm not covering, I'll be glad to do it. However, I do not cover any penny stocks. And again, lastly, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Everything on this channel has been growing organically. I have not paid for any advertising. It's all been based on my being here every day, Monday through Friday, doing the pre-market analysis, and then also doing our live trade room from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. Come on in. You can pop your head in there. You can get a free day trial if you want to take a look and see what's going on in there, what we go over. In that trade room, we go over the options. I pretty much identify what trades I'm taking and, where my stops are, where my take profits are, why I'm taking the trades, and I answer any other questions that people may have. So anyways, that's going to be it for today. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button. And if I don't see you in the trade room, I'll go see everybody tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.